India is shrinking. And if you don't believe me, just look at the data given out by the World Bank, by the Government of India, and you'll realize that India is actually shrinking. Hi, this is RN Bhaskar from Bhaskar Ki Business Baatein. Thank you for being with me today. And as always, I hope to bring you information that you will not easily get elsewhere. And the idea is to make sure that India grows and does not slip. The fact is that we're slipping. Look at some of our numbers. Look at the number of foreign direct investments. We are as low as the numbers in 2007. This is the lowest ever. Foreign direct investments mean that money that could have come into India to set up factories, to create jobs, is not coming to India. Why? Because the investment climate is not good. Because business rules are not good. And if the government wants investments to come to India, it has to become more business friendly, it has to become more investor friendly, and most of all, it has to allow investors the right to go in for international arbitration, because our courts move very slowly. Investors want to have dispute resolution in as short a time as possible. But that is not the only thing. FDI slows down. There is another thing that's happening, and that is a balance of payments is worsening. Our exports are slipping and our imports are increasing. And unless we can reverse that, we will again be in trouble, and for year after year, we've got a negative balance of trade. To make sure that India exports more, you have to again be liberal in your rules. You have to be easy on your rules. You have to trust businessmen more. There's another problem. Money grows when you respect money. When you respect money, you have to use money for productive purposes. But the government spends money on subsidies. Now, subsidies create two problems. One is they're not productive. So you spend money on which you're not going to earn any money. So as it is, your FDI is low. As it is, your balance of payments is terrible. Over that, the money that comes in, you spend it on subsidies. That is not a good thing. But there's a second problem, as pointed out earlier in these channels. When you give subsidies to a man, you teach him how not to work. And when you give subsidies for very long, you kill his ability to work. A whole generation gets wasted. And the government has promised subsidies to people for the next 5 years. That is dangerous. There is one more problem that people don't realize. Many of the problems that India faces today on its economic front can be traced back to one cardinal error. We passed a ban on the slaughter of cows. Fine. Pass a ban. That's your right. But the farmer who was an old cow, he used to sell the cow for 20,000 rupees. With the 20,000 rupees in hand, he would borrow another 20,000, make it 40,000, enough to buy a new cow. Now with the 20,000 not coming in, he used to sell the cow to the agent, who would sell it to the slaughterhouse. Now with the 20,000 not coming in, the farmer has no money to buy a new cow. His wealth shrinks. And if he buys a buffalo and gives the buffalo to the slaughterhouse, when buffalo meat is carried on the road, you have people coming saying, no, this is not buffalo meat, this is cow's meat. Block the van. Insist on a forensic check. In a country where we don't have forensics for human beings, you are asking for forensics for animals. Wrong again. As a result, the entire cattle sector found it difficult to sell cattle meat. You may say, what's wrong about that? There's only one thing wrong. The farmer had less purchasing power. The farmer's wealth generation capacity shrank because he could not buy new cows or new buffaloes. And when that happened, there was smaller demand in the rural sector, and after 2016, rural demand has got weaker and weaker and weaker. When the farmer can't buy, when the rural sector cannot buy, industry suffers because there's no demand, and industry suffers. And this continues year after year, and people lose. Which is why you need to look at the cattle ban very carefully. You want to ban? Ban. But let the government pay the farmer 20,000 rupees for each old cattle that he cannot sell. And let the government find a way to keep the old cattle, because the old cattle which cannot be cared for spreads diseases to the young cattle. What are the consequences? Many. One, look at the number. Beef exports are not growing. Look at the second number. Leather, which is a big employer and one of the largest export income generators, has not grown because the leather came from animals. And then look at the other sector, milk. It's not growing as healthily as it ought to have. We need to change the way India has been managed till now. Thank you for watching this channel, and do log on to Instagram also. It's good to have you. Our numbers are growing, and thanks to you, this is possible.